Good evening. Welcome to uh, Restless Barbarian Gaming. Tonight is a special game we've set up. It is called Our Last Days in the Sun, and it is set in Victorian England with a pair of characters who are ghouls, who are going to be offered the embrace by their masters. So, if this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you. Please give the video a like and subscribe if you would, so you can continue to catch up on all the great content we have here. I have two players tonight. I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, tell us who they're playing, and then we are going to jump right in. So let's actually start with Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm playing Cecily Roberts, who is part of an Irish family, and she's been sickly most of her life and is getting better now, basically.
Feeling much better, sir.
Feeling much better.
And Haley.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley, also known as Babe_Blade666, and tonight I'm playing a character named Victoria Patet. She's mostly kind of average, kind of mousy, but she's willing to take on being a Toreador if it allows for her.
All righty. Well, we got some interesting characters. Let's jump into the story. Our story is set in, again, London in the year 1882. Our characters are loyal ghoul servants of local kindred. They've each been serving their vampiric masters for several years now, so they're familiar with the obviously the schedule. Kind of sucks. Not much sleep. Constantly on duty essentially. And they are also familiar with what the vampiric condition bestows upon them, and they've both been good servants, and they're approaching getting another evening of servitude. It sounds horrible to say it, but they're ghouls, and they are approaching the evening. We are going to actually kind of jump back and forth in a way. Each character is going to have their own segment, as it were, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of switch back over to the other players. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually start with Victoria. Your wonderful benefactor, Mr. Jean-Pierre Bonnet, while she's devoted to him, he's a petty and often cruel being. He stands about 5'7", with a real thin frame. He likes to wear expensive suits that give him an air of grace and sophistication, yet everyone knows he's just nothing more than a common thug. And he runs a service, as he calls it, for the well-to-do, who enjoy some of the perverse pleasures of the evening, shall we say. He offers his servants a chance to perhaps act a bit unsophisticated, perhaps a bit ungentlemanly-like. And what he often sends Victoria out to do is to go to some of the local establishments on the East End, perhaps some of the taverns that the well-to-do would not find themselves often in. And what he tasks her with doing is to find volunteers to come back with her to perhaps meet her master and be subjected to some horrible things that we're not going to totally elaborate on this game. We're trying to keep it above board a bit. But she is tasked with, tonight, she is tasked with finding a couple certain individuals. Basically on the menu are see if they can find a rotund gentleman, perhaps not someone addicted to wine and spirits, but someone sturdy, perhaps, is what was requested, as well as perhaps a few ladies, maybe one or two. She doesn't have to bring them all at the same time, um, but he's looking for perhaps intelligent women who can be, and he tried to put it delicately, can be broken. He has a particular client who's looking for such things. So he has sent her off to a tavern in the East End. Haven't come up with a name for it, so we're just going to call it the Salty Dog, perhaps. It's a rollicking, filthy establishment filled with sailors, tradesmen, all sorts of wonderful folks. But give me an idea, what would Victoria dress like for a night at work, as it were?
She's managed to keep a few nice dresses clear of any debris or dirt from her house. But yeah, she tries to keep neat and clean and preserve like the ones that she would use to impress the kindred. So
Okay.
she'd wear the finest clothes she has.
Okay. She may stick out a bit in this place, but again, if she's attempting to lure people, it is you have to have shiny bait sometimes to catch the big fish. So we'll say she arrives by coach, because Jean Pierre does provide for transportation. And she'll step out in front of the Salty Dog. There's probably someone vomiting in the alley as she approaches. It's a quality place, and a male patron leaving will actually hold the door open for her and just kind of nods. He's like, "Ma'am."
She'll go in, making sure that her clothes aren't dirty, being swept up from the disgusting floor. And she'll go in and try to just analyze the room.
Okay. Let's see. Actually, let's make some dice rolls. Let's see what we got here to see how good she is at hunting. Essentially, let's see. She is very intelligent. Let's have you make a wits and awareness roll, please.
Okay. So I just roll wits.
Well, actually, click on awareness.
Okay.
And then when you click on it, and then it'll give you the choice to choose the attribute.
Oh, okay. I see.
And no need for extra dice or anything. There we go. Perfect. Oh my. Okay. Her laser vision focuses through the room and sees at the bar a heavy man in kind of a half decent suit. At the bar, he's graying at the temples and he's bald, but he's chatting away with a couple ladies at the bar. He seems to almost be like holding court, like everybody knows him and he's a popular guy. She also does spot that the two ladies with him don't appear to be ladies of the night, from her practiced eye can tell, because she rolled really well. But they might be suitable for what your employer is looking for.
Okay. I'll just go straight up and approach him and kind of tap on his shoulder.
Okay. And he turns and goes, "Oh, hey, how are you?"
Hello. I was just wondering, what's the best drink to have around here?
Well, it depends on if you're trying to kill something or if you're trying to get drunk. if you're trying to get drunk, then I suggest the ale. But the bartender back there will give you something that's even stronger than penicillin.
Well, my real goal is to actually just talk with you, if that's okay.
And he's kind of like, hey. Now one of the women kind of taps him on the shoulder, like, and they're kind of looking over you like, hey. They're like, can we help you, miss?
This doesn't concern you.
Doesn't
She'll look back to the man.
Okay. Yeah, and he's kind of torn. He's kind of, well, he's like, and he kind of, the guy who's sitting next to him on a stool, he kind of shoves him a little bit. Hey, move over, let a lady sit. And the guy kind of wanders. Oh, okay. And he kind of dusts off the chair a little bit for you. He's like, please have a seat.
She'll be like,
Okay.
thank you. And then she'll go sit next to. It's a little socially awkward, but she's just trying to be a little more like concise, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. And he's like, my name is Charles Mason.
How do you do? I'm Victoria Patet.
Oh, he takes your hand and awkwardly kisses it, thinking that's like what like high class guys are supposed to do.
And she'll kind of take it back.
And he's like, so I never seen you around here. Have you been here before? You probably have, but not maybe in a couple weeks. So
I don't usually find myself in places like these.
oh. And then one of the women leans over. Oh, so you're slumming it tonight.
I don't know. I just felt a certain urge to be here, and that I'm meant to be here with you. And she'll look at him.
And he's make a I want to see if you can kind of lure him in. You're doing good. Let's see. How about manipulation and performance?
I got 2 in performance.
Oh, but no, but you have 2 in manipulation too, so you got 4. So yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Oh well. He's interested, but his friends are.
He's about right for my character. Yeah.
His friends are kind of trying to talk over to him and saying, "Hey, Charlie, what about all those drinks we were gonna have?" And he's like, "Oh well, I'm talking to Victoria here now." And and the ladies are giving you death stares.
Ooh. I don't really have anything to intimidate them with, but
besides your
she'll kind of meet his gaze and be like, it's very distracting here. I know my place is a little bit more well kept.
Ah. And he's like, hey, and your beer comes or whatever. And he's like, cheers.
She'll cheers him.
Yep. And the cup is actually relatively clean. So have a sip, and he kind of wipes it, and he's like, oh, excuse me. He's like, I'm a salesman. I don't often come straight from work, as it were, but I was celebrating. We had a huge deal come through today, and I wanted to come here and celebrate with my mates.
A businessman, so you might know the Patet family.
Yeah. Let me see. Actually, I'll roll for him.
You're like well-to-do, but we're kind of like dying, suffering now.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say yeah. He's heard of her. He's like, I think I heard of you. You French?
Oui. Yeah. She's like a little far removed from French. But...
He's like, all right, well, and he's just kind of looking at her, like, and he kind of glances over at his friends because they keep like tapping his shoulder, and he's like, so you said something about getting out of here.
Yeah, I could even help your business if you don't want to come back with me.
He's kind of drunk now. He's kind of like, I don't kind of know what that means. Are we staying or are we going?
Let's go. She's just like, you know what? If you don't want me for my beauty, maybe let's have me for money.
He's just pretty drunk at this point. So yeah, so he kind of gets up and kind of brushes off his coat, and the lady's like, "Hey, where are you going?" And he's like, "I'm just gonna go have a word with with my new friend Victoria here."
She'll kind of look her up and down and like put her arm around his back to like lead him out.
They're like, they seem like they maybe want to start something, but they're kind of like, fuck it. And they order another round of drinks while you lead him outside. Okay. The coach is still there. The driver waited. He's played this game as well, so so he's like, oh, Charles like, oh, all right, got a ride and everything. So he's trying to stumble up into it, and kind of, I should make a dex roll for him at this point, as he kind of stumbles his way up into the carriage, and he kind of puts out his hand like, hey, let me help you.
I'll close the door
Okay.
and go to the carriage rider and be like, so get him to where he needs to be.
It's like, yes, ma'am. And rides off.
She doesn't go with him.
Yeah, generally she doesn't. Okay. Yeah, so you see the carriage ride off. So you got one.
And now she's like, well, now I'm here alone.
Okay.
She'll go back in, I guess.
Okay. And she goes back in, and the women are like, oh, that was quick. Probably should have expected that from Charlie. And they both laugh.
Your friend is very sick. You've practically put him over the edge with all this cheap wine.
He's a big boy. He can take care of himself. So
you don't want to come check out on him? And she'll look at the lady that was
give me let's try that manipulate. Actually, is she going to try to trick her into coming, or is she going to try to ask her to come? So that'd be a difference between charisma and manipulation. You get the same score in both of them. So
my attempt is to like trick her to getting, like, she thinks that something's wrong with him, or she's injured, or he's in danger.
Okay, so let's do your manipulation and performance again.
All right. I didn't expect to be like this good at it.
Nice. Okay, so she's, well, I mean, you seem like a harmless girl, and they kind of pat the stool like that Charlie was sitting on and ask you to sit down with them. So,
and she'll approach them a little closer and be like, I'm seriously very concerned for his health. He didn't look so good. Do you want to maybe check in on him? You know him better than I.
I guess. And they kind of look at each other like, he didn't seem that drunk. I mean, we've seen him worse before, but
I put him out in the alleyway just for now until I can get some help. But I want to make sure before I.
Oh Christ! All right. And they stand up, slap some money on the bar, and they start making a beeline to the door.
Yeah, she'll kind of like slowly walk behind them
Okay.
and kind of point them towards the direction of like a dark alley or something.
Okay. All right. Get out to the alley. The person who was vomiting is no longer there, luckily. They get out and they kind of turn to the alley and they're kind of like, Charlie, where are you? Their backs are to you.
Okay. At this point, I want to like try and do try and hide and just like
Okay.
you know, take them by surprise.
Does she typically work with besides the driver? Does she typically work with anyone else? Does she have anyone who handles the muscle for her? I mean, this is a big order tonight. Typically, she only gets an order for like one, but tonight there was an order for one man and two women. So
she's gonna try and just muscle it herself.
Okay. All right.
She doesn't have very many contacts.
Okay. She can try to attack them if she wants. She does. I'm assuming she maybe carries like a knife or like a club or something on her. Because Jack the Ripper was only a couple years ago.
Yeah, she might have like a small club. Try to get them in the back of the head.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they're not even paying attention to you. They're kind of looking around. So, if you want to club one of them, that would be your strength and brawl. So that would be still the 4 dice. Oh, excuse me, strength and melee, still 4 dice. So.
Melee. Oh, I got one in melee.
Yep.
Let's go.
Oh crap! All right, yeah, you just squarely come up behind her and just bam, just right in the back of the head, and she just goes down like a sack of potatoes without a noise, and falls forward into the muck, and then her friend spins, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah, well, she's got to go too.
Okay, all right, same roll then.
Oh, drive. Wait,
oh yeah, try it again. Yeah. I will let you re-roll that.
Melee. Straight roll.
There we go. Okay, yeah, you probably get her like across the face, and she's like, oh, and she kind of like stumbles back, and she's trying to like find you now because she's like getting ready to swing on. She's like, I shouldn't have trusted you, you ugly bitch.
She's like, you're making too much noise.
The woman is going to try to swing at you, but I'm going to say you ducked out of the way. You've played this game before, so let's see if you can knock her down.
Probably just use my fists at this point.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Still same. It's just brawl and strength then. Oof. You give her quite the beatdown. Normally you're told maybe don't mess up the face. But for this particular job you work for, it's not always the face they're concerned about. So they don't care kind of what they look like. But yeah, you give her a solid beatdown, knock her down, and probably you're left in the alley with these 2 women unconscious.
I'll take the first one and leave the second one to kind of die. Just put her in with the rest of the rubber.
Okay. All right. So you take the one you smacked in the back of the head. Okay. It's at that time conveniently that another carriage arrives, and you recognize this driver as one of the crew.
I'll pretend like she's like passed out drunk and I'm just helping her to the car.
Okay. Get her in the carriage. Okay.
This time I'll go in the carriage too.
Okay.
In the front seat.
When you get in, Jean-Pierre is there, and he's wearing those like weird kind of Dracula sunglasses at night or whatever, and he kind of looks at the woman. He's like, She will do. And he's like, bring her in. He's like,
she'll kind of bow and like bring her a little closer.
the order was for 2.
Oh, yes, right.
And
The
he goes,
second one's in the alley. I'll go get it.
of
Really
course you
quick, I'm
will.
sorry.
And he
She kinda
sighs.
forgot.
Okay. Nope. The other one isn't. They aren't dead. I mean, you just beat the hell out of her face. But you pile her in, and you slump the 2 bodies on the one side of the carriage, and you sit next to Jean Pierre. And he's like, impressive. I've never asked for so many in one night. You're very good at your job.
I need to show you that I'm really ready for this. I really want this.
He reaches over and kind of grabs your chin, but really hard. And he's like, do you think you've earned it?
I can only hope so.
You're just a house cat catching mice for me now. Are you ready to graduate to a tiger?
Yes, my lord.
Okay. And he just kind of lets go of your chin, and he's like, and he taps on the thing to let the driver know to pull away. He kind of cuts his wrist a little bit, and he's like, you look famished. Gives you his wrist.
And she'll graciously take that.
Okay. He's like, I have decided that you ought to be your own woman from now on. And for you, that means joining our kind.
Really?
Yes, it's
Yes,
time. I'll of course need someone to fill your role. Well, that'll be one of your first tasks, will be to find a suitable replacement. In 2 nights hence, you will be brought over to the darkness.
Okay. Wow. I've only dreamed of this day. And I hope to be with you forever. And she's kind of looking up at him.
And he's distracted, and he's yes. We'll make the proper arrangements. And that's where we're gonna just kind of fade out of there, and then we're gonna go over to Cecily.
Yes.
Cecily,
Mm-hmm.
you have been told that you're going to be meeting with your vampiric master, Mr. Herbert Westlin.
Yes.
He is a spy master who is currently seeking agents all over London to watch his various operations. He occasionally is on the continent, occasionally is even in America, working on his schemes. He is a Bruja, so he is given towards rebellion. And he found her several years ago. Let me know a little bit about Cecily before, and kind of what she looks like and that kind of thing, kind of before we dive into her story.
Okay, so Cecily is young. She's not yet 20, and she's been sickly her entire life. Her parents worry for her all the time. And eventually she caught what most people call consumption, but since her father is a scholar, he knows it was tuberculosis. So she was, when she was well enough, before the tuberculosis hit, the person that greeted the men that wanted to come in and talk to her father, because everyone had questions for him. She doesn't know what they talked about, but bring him in. And that's where she met Herbert, who eventually, her father, she's kind of fuzzy because she wasn't breathing well with the disease she had, and has come to the conclusion that Herbert has saved her life in some way. So she's grateful to him and to her father. Her mother, however, probably doesn't know that is what happened, and is going to be real upset about it eventually.
Yeah, It's kind of a thing that these strange men
Mhm.
seem to come over at all hours,
Right.
and I forgot to turn on the Victorian London music. I'll start that up now. Um, but they kind of come and go, and Herbert always seems to get along with her. Even as she got older, he didn't seem to
I'm having trouble hearing you.
kind of
It's fuzzy. It started when the music started.
How's that?
Yeah, that's
Better? Okay, we
yeah.
won't play that. Okay.
Okay.
So,
All right. So do that again. Tell me what.
let's
you're
try
saying.
this one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, she's known him for several years before she was working for him, and found that his appearance never changed. He was always kind of a rugged-looking man, but she kind of suspected there was something different about
Different
him.
about him. Yes.
And he has had her working for him for several years. He's revealed some things about her father that were uncomfortable at first. Cecily's father is no mere scholar. In fact, he maintains a storehouse of weapons that are available to the highest bidder. It seems that he's perhaps been using his connections in shipping to bring in all sorts of weapons and having them sent all over the empire. So you always also kind of wondered, you lived decently, but now you've found out that your father has a second life, perhaps even a second family that you never knew about.
Oh.
And all of this has been revealed to you by Herbert. He doesn't feel that people should be kept in the dark more than necessary, and that you've been a loyal daughter, and that you deserve to know the truth. And he has kept you around as a spy, essentially, a double agent, as you were, keeping an eye on her father.
Okay. So I'd be like listening at the door, bringing in tea at the wrong time, overhearing things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And he has tasked Herbert has tasked Cecily with he needs an inventory from one of the particular warehouses without her father's knowledge or any of his employees' knowledge. He wants to know exactly what's in one of the warehouses over by the docks, and he trusts that she's a clever girl, that she can get in, find the information, and perhaps get out without causing any trouble. And Herbert would be most appreciative if she could be swift with this, despite her challenges, he said.
Yes, well, some of the challenges have been solved, mostly thanks to you.
So she knows her way there. It is a old wooden place by the docks. It has really just kind of one main entrance for wagons to come in and out of. I'm going to say she has heard of the place. She has maybe not been there to her father's knowledge.
Okay.
So, would she? What would be kind of her approach to things? I guess I want to find out.
Okay. I'm assuming the people working there know they're working for her father, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what she's gonna do is bring like a notepad and like a pen and be like, all right, he sent me for inventory. He wants me to know how many of these there are, and he didn't come himself, so I'm here.
And they're like, hey, he sent the night watchman is an older guy, a big old bushy sideburns, and he's like, he sent you at God knows 10 o'clock at night to do an inventory.
Of course he has. He
Why
trusts me completely.
Why
Of
wouldn't he send
course.
someone at a reasonable hour?
I have no idea. I just do what my father tells me.
Okay. This is where you're going to have to be tricky. So
Okay.
I would think it's going to maybe need her composure
Okay.
or her charisma or her manipulation and etiquette, because
Okay.
she has been raised on proper etiquette. I can't think of the word.
Etiquette. Yeah. Okay.
In
So.
how to engage with people and how to speak with people, and
Okay.
perhaps how to throw the little weight she has around.
Right.
So yeah. So give me what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on your etiquette,
Okay.
and then just use manipulation. It's the same in either one. So
Okay. I'm trying to find etiquette in here.
it is under skills.
Under skills. Okay.
You have 3 dots in it.
I do. I wish I could find it. Um, let's see. I found it.
Yep.
Okay, so click on etiquette first, and then
manipulation, please.
manipulation. Okay, so click both of those,
Or
or is it under?
Yeah. When you choose
okay, got it.
etiquette, you should have a drop down from manipulation.
Okay, there we are.
Ooh, well, he knows you're the boss's daughter, but he's kind of not swayed by your approach so far.
Okay.
So he's like, I don't know if I should be getting you involved in these kind of things, miss.
It's fine. Would you rather me tell my father that you didn't want to let me in about, the things he sent me for?
Give me another roll.
Same one?
Yeah, same one.
Okay, so etiquette.
I'm trying to let you lean into your strengths. So.
Yeah. Okay, let's try it again. See if it works well. Maybe better.
Well, better.
Maybe not.
He's like, I don't have my balls in a sling for this, but all right, be quick about it.
All right, thanks. I'm going in.
Okay.
I go in and I'm pulling out the pad and paper and like, okay.
Okay. So yeah, so he lets you in, and as you slip in, you hear a thump behind you.
Oh.
And you turn around, and Herbert is there, and he's holding the man, like he's like holding him up, and just kind of drags him to the floor, and he's like that could have gone better, but we're in.
Okay, well, here we are. All right, so I think I haven't been in here in a long time. I don't know for sure, but we'll probably find our way around. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, he's looking around, going, I always wondered what he was keeping in here. If your father was holding out on the good stuff.
I have no idea. He's never talked to me about this. I'm the only know it from you.
Give me a intelligence and investigation roll.
Okay.
I want to see if you know where to find the good stuff.
Maybe. All right, I can see investigation, and then we want intelligence. And roll. How'd we do?
Not bad. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you from the papers you've studied and the conversations you have, you know there was kind of a section where maybe he was keeping firearms. There is a section towards the back that had several crates with firearms and gunpowder.
All right. Okay, so now that I think about it, I think the crates are over in this back area where no one is coming in. Might have what you're looking for.
And he kind of gets up and he's looking at him. He's like, excellent. And he turns back to you and goes, did I tell you your father was thinking of screwing me over?
No, I've never heard of that. Why would he do such a thing?
It says it's business, says he. Maybe I've heard he doesn't trust me much anymore.
But why? I mean, he trusted you with me.
It's dirty business, isn't it?
I suppose.
He's like, it'd be a shame, and he kind of takes a step towards you. Be a bloody damn shame if something happened to his little girl, or his stores, what do you think he'd be more upset about? And he's kind of stalking towards you.
Yeah. Honestly, I think he favors my brother. He's married. He's probably got a kid, but I don't know. I mean, I think our family wasn't rich before, but when he started all of his arms, so he might be more interested in keeping the arms than, I'm not sure.
So if you just disappeared, no one's going to give a
Oh,
give a fig?
my mother would be crying.
Ah, she's a weak woman anyway.
Well, sometimes yes. I mean, I've been sick forever. She'd of course be really sad if I disappeared.
And he kind of looks back at the crates. He's like, I don't know what's more replaceable, you or those.
Well, there's only one of me.
There is. And I've grown rather fond of you.
Well, it's nice to know.
That's why I've decided that I'm going to take both.
Oh, all right, sure.
And he stalks. He just kind of keeps that motion, like almost like a cat, like a panther, just kind of. And he says, "Come close." He's like, "I wanna ask you something."
Okay, I walk closer to him.
Okay. He's like, "Would you like to become one of us?"
I've been thinking about it. I mean, you know my past. I've been sickly forever, and if I was one of us or one of you, maybe I'd be better forever. No more diseases, no more sickly.
No more. No, you have none of that anymore.
Right. I'd like to actually have a life of some kind without being sick.
I may ask for you to do even more than I've already asked so far. It may be distasteful. Are you committed?
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to prove your loyalty in 2 nights.
You faded out.
Oh, in 2 nights, I'm going to bring you over.
All right.
And he kind of gives her a hug, like around the shoulders.
Okay. So she's like,
yeah,
okay.
And he's like, we'll see about what to do with this. After you prove your loyalty, you're going to make sure your father proves his loyalty.
Okay. I don't entirely understand, but if you explain it more, maybe.
He's like, well, you have 2 nights.
I have 2 nights, right? And what will you have me do?
He's like, you'll see.
All right.
In the meantime, get your orders in a fair. You know what my kind, what our existence is like.
Yes.
No more days in the sun, no food.
Right.
We take lovers, but not as we once did. Are you ready to give all that up?
I think I am.
Okay. And that's where we're going to kind of fade out of that. Okay. So now that the players have kind of an idea of what is going to be asked of themselves, what I'd like to do is they're going to have really 2 days before they're to meet with their sires to be and are brought over. And what I'd like to do is then go back to Victoria to see, now that she knows basically the clock is ticking, what would she like to do with her 2 remaining days?
I guess the head of our household, my father, is very gravely sick. And the rest of the family is kind of just abandoned ship, but Victoria's here to kind of get whatever legacy is left from that family and
Okay.
try to bring our status a little higher. So
Okay.
that's what her focus is going to be.
So when she gets off her night shift, she goes into her day shift and goes to visit her father. So she lives with her father, is that?
Yeah, she lives in the same house.
Okay, that's what I figured, but I just wanted to just make sure. So when she reaches her father's house, when she's done with her other distasteful duties for Jean-Pierre, it's a beautiful sunrise. People are out getting to work. Kids are out playing. I mean, everything seems to start in the fall. We're in the fall, so it's kind of a cold, crisp morning, but the air is maybe a little fresher here than where she was before. And she gets to her house. I think you said it was not great, not
I have a creepy haunted haven.
okay. Okay, that works. Okay, we'll say there's like a black cat outside or something. She gets in, and yeah, it's a small little place. Maybe really only one bedroom that maybe she allows her father to sleep in. She either crashes wherever she can, depending on what her duties are. He has been ill. He's had maybe some neighbors have been helping him a little bit. But on this morning, when you get there, there's nobody with him, and he's just kind of sitting up on the bed, trying to maybe eat some porridge or something, sitting on his bed. And he kind of he's like, "Hey, my girl, good morning."
Good morning, Father.
He's like,
she'll kind of go to her closet and put away her nice clothes and
okay,
put on the daily garb
okay,
that she wears. Like
sweatpants, t-shirt. No, so. Okay, and he's just eating his porridge, and he's like, "So where you been out to lately?"
Just trying to look after myself since everyone's pretty much gone. And she'll look at him.
Everybody but you. You're the only one who hasn't abandoned me.
I mean, there's still some worthy things about this family that I'd like to continue. I'd like to think that we're not all rotted away.
Not you. You still got a heart of gold. You're my angel. It goes in a long hacking cough.
She'll kind of like look down to know that she's not. And she's like, "Yes, Father. Is there anything you need done today?"
Well, and he kind of gives you kind of a chore list to go through. Maybe some things to get from the market. But he's like, but I just mostly just want to just have you here for the evening after supper. We can talk. I never see you in the evening.
And this evening, I will spend it with you, Father.
He's like, you're a good girl. Okay.
And she'll kind of just leave him be and go to her room, and it's got paintings all over the place. Like, she's an artist, so she's just kind of putting all her stuff together to leave, basically.
Okay. All right. So she starts packing up some things then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she'll meet him in the evening.
Okay. So is she going to spend day one kind of going out and running his errands and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, she wants to like make him feel comfortable for the end.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna say while she's out with her grocery list, as it were, we're gonna go to Cecily, who's beginning her day one.
Day one. Yes.
Similar. Maybe didn't get in. Maybe got a little bit of sleep before the sun comes up. But yeah, she's awoken to a sunrise, and it strikes her that this might be one of the last ones she ever sees.
Right. I should probably go outside at some point. I'm gonna go find my mother and see if she can make a cake or something.
Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, you get to the family homestead. Your mother's in the kitchen. They're middle class, did you say, or were they?
Yeah, kind of. After her father started what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Suddenly the money was much better.
It's much better.
maybe not to the point where she can hire help,
Right,
but it's a decently sized kitchen. And she's like, Cecily, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, where have you been all night? You're always out every night.
I know, Mother. I'm young. Okay, I've been so sick for years. I'd at least like to try to, have a normal life of some kind.
Can you think of your family first? Just once.
I try, but I mean, what were you doing when you were young before you met my dad?
I was working. I was a scullery maid. I don't know if that's the right term, but I was a maid, and I worked sun up to sundown. And any moment I had, I was home with me ma and me pa, and helping the family with whatever they need. I wasn't selfish like children your age.
You can't help it though. I mean, like I haven't had much time to interact with people of my age. I've been sick all the time. I'm better now, sort of.
And she's like, "You do. You look better."
Yes.
And she's like, "What have you been up to? You're not eating here. So where have you been eating?"
I've been hanging out with friends that'll feed me. It's fine.
Oh, you're not. And then she kind of rolls her eyes. She's like, "You're not one of those girls who hangs out in those taverns over on the East End, are you?"
Oh, no, none of that. That's no.
They say people go in those places and they never come back.
That's
what I hear.
Well, if you mean they're like alcoholics now, then maybe they're not. Maybe they're always going back. I mean,
it wasn't too long ago. The Ripper was on his way through the town. I just worry about you being out all hours of the night.
I know, but I mean, I've got to have some fun sometimes. Life is a risk. I could have died before, and I'm here. I want to live.
And your father walks in. He's like, "Good morning, good morning." He's a much more jovial person than your mother is. Just an absolute sad sack of Irish guilt.
Yes.
Your father's a little nicer, and he's like he's pouring himself a cup of tea, and he's like, "So where were you again last night, girl?"
Out with friends. You might know one of them.
Who was it?
Look, right?
Oh, yeah, he gives a look like, oh shit. Okay. He's like, oh, right. Well, I've got to be over to the university today for a lecture. And he's got his briefcase, and he's like, I might be rather late. No need to hold supper for me. I'll be along when I can. And he kind of glances back at Cecily, like, and he kind of gives. Actually, I want to have you do this.
Okay.
Give me an intelligence and awareness roll.
Okay.
Let's see if you can read his expression.
Intelligence and oops, wrong. Where's awareness?
It is towards the right.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the selectability thing. So, all right.
Yeah.
So intelligence. Let me fix this here.
You can do awareness. Click on awareness, and then click on intelligence. Or choose intelligence, rather. Sorry.
Choose intelligence first or after?
Do awareness first.
Awareness first. Where's awareness on here? There it is.
Just click on awareness and then select intelligence.
Intelligence. Got it. Okay, here we go. Let's see how it goes. Oh, wow.
Oh, you know this look,
Mm-hmm.
and you've known to he's basically asking you with his eyes, like, what's going on?
Mm.
Almost kind of a pleading look, like, oh God, what's going on? What
Mm-hmm.
do I need to know?
It's nothing to know, Da. I was just hanging out with friends. You know.
He's like, he sips his tea in like one cup and gives his wife a kiss on the head and gives you a kiss on the head and quickly scurries out.
And there he goes.
That's where he always goes.
Mm.
So what are you doing today, Cecily? Are you gonna
I thought
sleep all day? What are you
no,
gonna
no,
do?
no. It's the sun is so beautiful right now. I want to like
Yeah.
go outside and enjoy it. Bring you some flowers back, maybe.
Okay. All right, do
Yeah.
that. All right. So she kind of goes back to doing what she's doing. So what else is Cecily going to do on day one?
On day one, well, she's definitely going outside. She's going to I don't know if there's a park, if there's like a park people walk around in, she'll go there.
Okay.
And other than that, she's going to try to find some food, like, maybe a little bakery or something, and
Okay.
try to get that because she probably has some money on her,
Yeah.
She wants a cake.
Okay. All
At
right.
least there's that. She's also going to visit her brother
Okay.
at some point during the day.
Okay. So
Maybe
we'll
she'll bring
say
the cake there,
that's not a bad idea. Yeah, she
Yeah, bring
spends
the cake there.
spends some time in the park and then
Mhm.
goes have her cake.
Yep.
We will we'll just go over a little bit briefly about
Mhm.
our meeting with her brother.
Yep.
Tell us about him.
Well, her brother's named Morgan, and he just married someone named. Let me see if I can find her name. He married a woman named Mira, so they've been
Okay.
married at least a year or two.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's bringing a cake. you know, just gonna show up at the
Uh,
door.
how
Mhm.
does she get along with her brother?
Oh, they're best buddies. He worried about
Okay.
her all the time she was sick, so he'd
Okay.
come in and try to make her laugh.
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, is he aware of her connection to her father? Kind of what work she does, or is she just really told no one?
She hasn't told anyone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what her father may have said to his son, but
hmm
she hasn't told anyone.
He really hasn't said anything. Your brother is always intrigued by that you look better, you look healthier. There's a little color in your cheeks
Mhm.
sometimes, and we're going to keep this part brief. Sorry. He's just as well concerned about
Right.
kind of what she's up to, what are her plans for the future.
Mhm.
I mean, where do you see yourself in a year from now?
Oh, maybe married,
Like,
sort of.
kind of look at each other like, uh, is there a boy, a suitor we should know about?
I'm not sure yet what he thinks, but I'll let you know if things get serious.
Okay. All right. So she's gonna have the cake with them.
Mhm.
Is that kind of how she ends day one?
Yeah, hanging out with her brother and his wife, and all
Okay.
of this. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna go back over to Victoria, where she comes back then to have dinner with her father. So, what's she bring him?
They are kind of running out of money, so she just kind of gathers the best kind of meal that she can with
Okay.
the amount of funds that
Okay.
they have. And she'll sit down with him and begin to help feed him.
Okay. He is appreciative of whatever you bring him. He is just, he's like, he's like, whatever my girl brings me is a feast for a king.
It's more than you deserve.
He's like, ah, hush, hush. He's like, so, what, are you busy again tonight? Will you be staying in?
I'm going to stay here with you.
Okay.
have something to confess.
Okay.
And I think you know that what I've been up to is my own self-interest for my survival.
And he looks down and he's like, I can't deny you a life, girl. I know I lean on you for everything, but someday I'm not going to be here, and you have to make your own way.
And that's exactly what I've begun to do. This whole family has rotted off like the people you see in the streets surrounding us. This house, it's all just rotting flesh here, holding me back. This isn't the life that the Patels should have, the Patet should have. We were once a family that people feared. And look at us.
It's like, you're right. We've
You
fallen
didn't
on.
protect us. This is your fault.
I did my best. Please, I mean, there's other circumstances than just me.
You're the father. This wasn't meant to happen. And she feeds him like the nice meal that she's.
Here, eat it, you son of a bitch. And he just doesn't say anything. He's just kind of got this, okay, well, you spoken your mind. And after they're done, he's like, so this is it then? You're going to abandon me too?
Well, if I stay here, I die.
Then go. Just go do what you got to do, my angel. I'm not happy about it, but I understand.
And she'll kind of glance at him and she's like, you've left all your money to me.
He's like,
right?
All of this? He kind of laughs and he's like, all of this? Sure, my angel. It's all yours.
She'll grab a pillow and just start mercy killing him.
All right. Let's go strength and brawl. Not the angle I expected, but I love it.
Hey, she just wants to survive.
4 successes. Yeah, he's pretty weak. I mean, you're leaning down, and at first he's kind of waving his hands to kind of stop you, and then it kind of slows down, and and then with kind of his last breath, he kind of puts his hand on your shoulder and just gives it a hard squeeze.
And she'll throw it off.
Okay. And within a couple seconds, he is no longer moving.
You made me do it, damn it. And she'll kind of just get the last of his paperwork and affairs.
Okay.
And the last of all her things and move on to somewhere different.
Okay. She go back to Jean-Pierre for the night?
Yeah, she'll bring her stuff over there.
Okay.
He'll surely help her.
Yeah. He essentially gave her 2 nights off, but but still expects her to attend him. So okay. All right. So then we're gonna fade out of that. So anything left for Cecily on night 1?
a night one. She's gonna go pick some flowers to bring back to her ma.
Okay. For me, ma.
These
Okay.
are for me ma. Find a
Right.
florist somewhere, you know. It's gotta be one.
Okay. All right. So that's kind of a nice ending to day number 1.
Yep.
What we're going to do is now we're going to go into day number 2.
Okay.
So at the essentially after dusk tonight is when you're going to meet with your sires to be. So
Okay.
let's just kind of keep it in the same order. Let's go back to Victoria now that she's kind of freed herself up part of her schedule. What would she like to do on her remaining day?
We're at the night of day 1.
Well, we ended day 1, and now
Okay.
we're going to be the morning of day 2. So
Okay. Yeah, the only thing left is just make sure that she gets the bit of inheritance that she has and start setting up for her new life. She wants it to be, she wants like her new place and everything to look like a Toreador lives there. So she's going to be putting her art up and like basically just preparing for her new life.
Now Jean-Pierre doesn't really offer her a place to stay. He's more directing her. Maybe that evening she talked to him about, or the previous evening she talked to him about her plans, and he's kind of like, yeah, that's great, can't stay here, but has another retainer who can assist you with finding somewhere to live. So that's day 2. Then you go with them to start looking for your own place, a place to rent. They find something pretty fast for you. That's where you can kind of spend the rest of the day if you like, moving in, starting to get her affairs taken care of.
Yep.
And she realizes, yeah, man, I really, they really rely on us to get out and do all this daytime business for them.
That reminds me, I have to find a replacement, don't I? She'll kind of maybe if there's like an art gallery nearby or a library or something.
Yeah, she's got a couple hours.
Yeah. She'll go and she'll try to scope out a new replacement.
Okay. You did pretty good before with intelligence and investigation. Let's have you. She's a hunter, so let's see how she does.
I didn't expect her to be this savvy. I thought she'd be like a fuck up.
Damn! Oh my god! Oh my god! She's just like laser focused, just through the crowd of people goes her. the bookworm at the back with the glasses in the red dress.
Yeah.
And kind of a clerk at the library. She's like behind a desk writing some notes, and just looks up and just sees you standing there. Like, oh, forgive me. I'm sorry. I didn't see you standing there.
No need to forgive yourself. You just are so beautiful. I needed to tell you.
Oh.
What's your last name?
Johnston.
Do I know them? Are they like a high
Make a intelligence and academics roll. This might be the first academics roll we've ever had. So, that not, they're not coal miners, but it sounds like maybe a decent family.
So you're pretty well to do.
Oh no, ma'am. I'm just a clerk here. My aunt got me the job a few months ago, and she just starts to kind of prattle on about how she's always enjoyed museums and the works of the great Dutch masters, and just kind of just rambles on till she kind of catches herself. She goes, "Oh, forgive me. I I just enjoy my work so much."
You're quite adorable.
Oh, well, she kind of blushes and she's like, "Well, I thank you, ma'am. I
You enjoy your work so much. I know someone with a very rare library that you would love to see.
well, I would love to. I don't get off, and we close at 5 p.m. and then I need to come home, and she just kind of just starts rambling about like what she has to do that evening.
Just come with me. You won't regret it. It's a once in a lifetime offer.
Give me a charisma and performance roll.
Mhm. Charisma. Oop.
You're trying to sell it.
I'm beautiful too.
Yep. And she's like, "Well, I suppose I could probably sneak out." And she's kind of that seems like the craziest thing she's ever thought of. And she's like, "When I didn't ask you your name, ma'am."
It's Victoria Petets.
Ms. Patet. I suppose I could just come over for a little bit and just take a look.
You simply must. You'll adore me.
Uh,
I'll be waiting here for you at 5 p.m.
okay. And she's just over the moon. I mean, she's just so excited, and she's just like, "Okay, well, I'll see you then," and goes back to her job and just seems bubbly. So
All right.
okay.
I'll get arrangements for a carriage at that time.
That's what I figured was coming. Okay. All right. So yeah, so 5 o'clock comes, and she steps out about 5:02. Steps outside, and what does she see?
Yeah, I'm just literally waiting there exactly as I said I would. It's
Okay.
kind of awkward. You're like, oh, there you are.
Just
And
wasn't sure, like
the carriage is there. I'm just
Okay.
kind of leading her towards
And
it.
she's like, "Oh, well, thank you." She's like, I've never been in something this fancy."
You should get used to it. The longer you hang out with me,
Okay.
and I'll give you all the connections you'll ever need.
Okay.
for nights like this.
It is. We said it was fall, so it's probably gonna get dark around 6:30 or so. So where do you want to take her?
I guess I'm gonna take her directly to go see my sire.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we'll say you take the long route, and yeah, you arrive at his. He doesn't quite have a mansion. He's kind of on the west end, kind of a upscale townhouse. There is a servant's entrance that you are required to use around the back. So the carriage pulls up there, and she's, "Oh, well, oh, okay. Well, this is a very nice place."
Yes,
Okay.
come in.
All right.
Come
So
with me. I'll show you right to the library. You'll
said
love
the spider to the fly. Yep. So yeah, she follows you in carefully. It's an exquisite house. Although some of the art is a little gaudy. You kind of recognize, like, he overpaid for this. Basically he's rich, but he has no class. But you don't say that to his face. And once you arrive into the library, Jean-Pierre is sitting on a kind of an easy chair, glass of some red liquid sitting on a easy table next to him, and he has like reading glasses on, which he doesn't need, but he thinks it makes him look smart. So he tilts the glasses down. He's like, what do we have here?
I brought a guest.
A guest. Come closer, mademoiselle. And she kind of creeps up, and she's like, kind of curtsies, and she's like, "This is the library. I see." Forgive me. And she introduces herself as Miss Johnston, and he's intrigued with her. He kind of glances over at Victoria, like, and he's like, "So, Victoria, where did you meet Miss Johnston?"
The library at City Hall. I just think she's suitable. And she'll kind of walk along the library with the books.
Okay. And he is just gazing at her intently. He's like, "Tell me about yourself." She doesn't ramble like she normally does. She kind of speaks calmly, that her life has been studying art and books. She is the youngest of 6, the only girl in her family. She is unmarried, hopes to get a job as a curator someday at the museum, and maybe someday own her own exhibit, or own her own library rather, and and he's listening to her, and she's kind of like, mm-hmm. And he's like, "How are your people skills, shall we say?" And she just keeps rambling, but kind of doesn't know when to shut up, in a way. And he kind of looks over to Victoria, and then he looks back at her and he goes, "Shut up." And she just stops talking. And he's like, "Victoria, come, my dear."
I get to the point a little bit better than her, but I find her endearing.
Does she have your eye for picking good merchandise?
I don't believe she's done anything nefarious in her life. She's not a complete replacement for me, but...
And he kind of tilts her chin a little bit, but she's like frozen. And he's kind of tilting her chin. He's like, "I mean, good bones. I mean, she seems like she's strong. But can she take your place?"
Well, I believe so.
If you were
I don't
in my
want to be
position,
replaceable, my lord, but...
and he kind of cuts her off. He's like, "If you were in my position, would you pick her to be his hunter?"
A hunter?
That is what you do.
I think she has potential, yes.
Potential. So if I'm to lose you and I have her, that might be a downgrade. I don't even know if they used that term back then. It'd be a downgrade. It's not as good as you.
And she'll just kind of blush, like, "I didn't know it was that valuable to you, my lord."
Oh, you are. I don't know if she's good enough to fill your shoes.
She certainly is smart enough.
Well, I suppose there's only one way to find out. And that is what I had promised you, in fact. And he kind of looks back over the girl and he's like, oh, her. And he's like, take her somewhere. Get her some decent clothes. And we'll deal with her later.
Okay. Well, I've only brought her to you because my past life is dead. I'm ready for my new life. And this is my symbol of letting go of that. She can take whatever projects I was working on.
Okay.
I'm ready to take over, and I'm ready for something new.
Okay. He's like, why don't you show her the basement?
And she'll just kind of, without a word, just take her hand and lead her there.
Okay. You go down to a subterranean level that is more like a jail. There are men and women, including one you recognize from the prior night, a heavy-set gentleman who has a thick chain around his neck. And he sees you and he's like, there's the bitch who tricked me into coming here. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. And he's trying to get off the chain. He's naked, but he's strung up and he's like, I'm gonna kill you, bitch.
And she'll kind of look at him and be like, you're already dead. Look how pathetic you are.
And the beaten women are nearby. Their spirits are broken though. They are both huddled together on the cold, dirty floor, crying. They maybe kind of glance up at you, but they don't say anything. Now your new ward is a little taken aback by this, and she's like, "Whoa, hold on! I don't think this is quite where I want to be. And looks like she's getting ready to turn around and run.
I'll kind of hold her hand a little tighter.
Okay. And she's like, ow. She's like, what? I saw a library upstairs, but what is all this?
You should have tried a little harder to impress him. I'm not exactly sure what your fate is now. But she'll take her into like one of the rooms.
Okay.
Trying to tackle her.
Okay. Yeah. She's not really gonna fight back. Are you going to try to knock her out, or are you going to just try to strip her and chain her up?
I don't want to strip her.
Okay. But unfortunately, that's your job. Is to chain them up at least. So
yeah.
Okay.
I purposely don't strip her, but I chain her up because I thought that maybe she had a good chance, but okay. I'm thinking now she's not going to make it.
She just starts weeping, and she's like, help, someone get me out of here, help me.
I am sorry.
She's like, don't you have a soul? How can you do this to another person?
Do any of us have souls anymore? Really? We're all just rats in the mud, scurrying around, trying to get to the grass. I don't know, but it's tough out there. And I have to do what I have to do. And she'll just kind of leave.
Okay. All right. We're going to switch back then over to Cecily.
Okay.
Who, day 2, what does she have planned for day 2 before the evening?
Before the evening. She's going to go walk around in the sun and get sunburned because she probably can't do that anymore.
Nope. Well, she can get a heavy sunburn later, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, but now, I mean, whatever.
Okay.
Just for fun, she's given her mom a big bouquet of flowers the night before, and probably stayed there a bit in her parents' house. Her father would expect it, and now
Mhm.
she's gonna. Let's see. Her sire told her, you won't be able to eat, you won't be able to have sex, you won't be able to, all these other things. So she's gonna go look for a man.
Okay. Is she gonna go trolling the bars, or
Oh, she doesn't want to go in the bars, no.
is
But she
she
could find
a,
someone maybe walking around the
a
park.
church or someone, or
I don't know how that's going to go.
how about this? We'll
Mhm.
keep it. We'll keep it relatively PG-13.
Mhm.
Let's see. I would think she might use maybe her charisma,
Okay.
and you know what? Let's try etiquette again,
Okay.
because she's kind of going on that I'm a good girl
Mhm.
thing. Let's have you try that first.
Okay. I don't think I rolled it. Let me try that again. Etiquette, and then select charisma,
Yeah,
and then hit roll. That would help. How'd it go?
3 successes. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, she maybe in a bookshop.
Okay. Sure.
She comes across a sturdy young lad of perhaps 19,
Okay. About her age. Yeah.
who's working in the store,
Mhm.
um, and takes her a little while to kind of chat him up,
Uh-huh.
but he agrees to have lunch with her,
Oh, all right.
and we'll say his name is Chad.
Okay, Chad.
And Chad agrees to have lunch with her,
Oh, all right.
and yeah, they he's really on his lunch break, so he can't really take too long.
Right.
But what does she do at lunch? Does she try to sling some drinks at him or something like that? What's her? She doesn't probably
Possibly.
have much game, so
She doesn't. No, she doesn't really. She hasn't had time to be social in the way that
right.
someone her age would. So, yeah, I think she's just gonna, ask him like, so, are you married? Are you seeing anyone?
No,
No,
I
a man
don't.
like you.
Oh, and
Surprising.
he's like, no, I spend most of my time working.
Well, that's admirable as well if you hope to have, a family or a wife or something. I'm not asking for that, but just so you know.
Okay.
Um,
So let's see if she can seduce him. Let's see.
Okay.
That's probably. Let's take a look here. It could be performance.
Okay.
You have 1 dot in performance. Etiquette. This seems like it's kind of going out of etiquette.
It's kind of, yeah.
You're starting to reel him in now, so I don't think.
Trying, why not? Last shot of things, right?
Let's do manipulation and performance. You got
Okay.
3 dice in that.
Okay, and manipulation. Okay, let's roll that. I don't know how that went either.
1 success.
1.
He maybe sneaks a kiss,
Oh.
and then it's kind of like, I thought, if I'm being too overbearing, I apologize.
Oh no, that's not too overbearing at all. I was thinking maybe we could find someplace else to be where there's less people.
And he's like,
saying.
Oh, okay. And we'll fade to black on that. We'll say mission accomplished.
Sure.
She leaves with a smile on her face, and he kind of leaves in a sweaty mess to go back to his job. but she's crossed that off her list.
Yes.
We'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Simple enough.
She said, and maybe goes back to the restaurant, finishes her meal. It didn't take long, unfortunately.
Right.
But,
well, she wouldn't have known any difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right. So so she has a good meal. She's crossed that off her list.
Yes.
It's getting into the afternoon.
Okay.
And she knows that she's supposed to be meeting with Herbert.
Yes.
At some point. She go home at all again?
She's gonna go home. And
Okay.
she's usually the one that men come in to talk to her father, but someone's already in there, so she has to pour them some tea and try to chat with them and make them feel like they're important. So she has kind of her job still, and she doesn't want her mom to think anything weird is going on.
Your dad is actually home. He didn't have to go over the university, and he comes out of his office when he sees you, and he's like, "Cecily, a word, please."
All right, sure. I go
Brings her
walking
in,
into
closes
the
his door,
office.
and he's like, "Why were you at the warehouse?"
Kind of hard to explain.
Well, you need to explain. He's kind of getting ballsy with her because
Herbert wanted me to bring him.
What? But why would you be with Herbert? He's
You should ask him, actually. Trust me on this one.
Don't get lippy with me, girl.
I'm not trying to be, but he was the one that probably saved my life when I was dying.
Oh, again with this. He's a dangerous man, girl.
He's never given me any trouble, though. You can ask him if you want. I'm sure he'll find me later.
Gulp. He's you're putting me in a hard situation. I mean, I'm your da.
I know.
Are you choosing him over me?
I don't think it's a choice, da. I think once you let him help me, I was bound.
And he's like, "Oh shit." He doesn't. You know you can read this. I'm not going to make you roll on it. You read his face.
Yes.
And you positive you know what he thinks he knows what Herbert is or who Herbert is.
Yes.
And he's just kind of pale white and just kind of slumps down into his chair. And he's like, "So is that it then?"
What do you mean exactly?
He just kind of looks at it. He's like, "You're his?"
Technically, yes.
Oh, dear God.
Ma does not know, and Morgan doesn't know anything about it. I visited him and his wife today. We had cake. I figured, why not?
And he's, he just kind of doesn't know what to say.
It's not your fault. You didn't know. I didn't know until after.
It's not too late, is it?
It's already too late.
Oh.
As soon as you had him help me, that was it. He was claiming me as his own.
Oh, dear God.
I didn't know immediately, but that is what happened.
Well, I guess that's it then.
What you mean?
I'm as helpless as you now.
How so? I mean, he didn't turn you, right?
No, but he and he kind of said, those kind, they make you say things you don't mean to say. They make you do things you don't want to say. You're like puppets in their grasp.
At the moment, yes, but he's going to turn me.
What? He's gonna make you one of them?
I'll never be sick again.
Oh,
ever. My whole life I've been sick. It's the only thing I wanted is to be able to do things and not worry about it so much. I'll still be me. Probably can't go to church no more, but
Oh my God. And he's just. Are you leaving then? Are you done with us? Are you?
I'm not sure. I don't know how it all goes, but yeah, I'm going to become one of them.
Oh God. All right. And he
I might be able to visit at night.
Oh, great.
I mean, you have people come and talk to you at night too. It's not so bad.
And and he makes another face like, damn it, you got me.
Mm-hmm. And I know a little bit about what you've been doing too.
That's what I figured
Mm-hmm.
when the guard talked about you came to see him, and
Yep.
he just kind of turns his back on you and just kind of, he's beaten.
I'm gonna go pat him on the shoulder. It's all right, Dad. You didn't know you were getting me into it.
Grabs your hand. And he's like, we're done.
What do you mean we're done? I don't understand.
We're done. We just once it. He's like, you'll find out.
Anything you want to tell me about? I don't know.
He's like, I guess Herbert will be telling you what to do from now on.
He's been telling me what to do so far. It's how he got into the warehouse with me, but...
And he just doesn't seem like he wants to talk about it anymore.
Okay, well, you're the only one that knows this in the family, so just, you know...
Mum's the word, I guess.
It's gonna have to be.
Okay. Yeah, he just kind of shuts down. So yeah, now it's getting into the evening, where Herbert would probably be up and around.
Right.
So what I want to ask is, we've got about 20 minutes. Would you guys prefer to save the inevitable for the next part, or would you like to just kind of go forward with it and wrap up tonight? We might go a little bit past 2 hours, so I just want to see if everyone's good to hang in there, or do you need a break and you want to save the next part for next week?
I'd like to save the next part.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Pick it up from there.
I don't want to rush it, so.
I don't want to rush it either. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So how you guys feeling?
This is fun.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Cool.
I'm trying my best Victorian.
No, that's fine.
Atmosphere thing.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. No, you guys are doing great.
Right. And I was trying to do I can the Irish accent comes to me because of my family, but
that's fine.
So I can't imagine she'd be trying to be all Victorian if she's Irish. I mean, it's that overwhelms.
Victoria is more of a monster than I had thought she was going to be, and I love it.
Me too. She's slaying. Let's just make her a huge.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. For as
I thought she was going to be terrible at everything, and then she's
no.
Oh, I suck. I'm sorry.
Well, that I was kind of trying to lean into what you kind of designed her as, and her role really is almost like a pimp in a way. She's a hunter for the merchandise that Jean-Pierre wants.
Yeah. So she's just really nihilistic now.
Yeah, and it's funny, she described her as mousy, but she really, when she got into her job though, it's she switched. She turned on the switch that is, this is my job, this is what I do. My Jean-Pierre will not be happy if I don't return with what he wants. So, and Cecily, I think is about what I expected.
Oh, good.
I think she's seeing the leverage she has over her father. And there might be more going on that she's going to learn about. And what we're going to do is, in the next episode, is they will go through their embrace.
Okay.
And then we will see. They're gonna find out some more about what was going on with some things.
Okay.
That they might not like.
All right.
Or I'm thinking Victoria may totally embrace, pardon the pun, the world she's going to be joining. But we'll see. So, and all right. So, anything you guys have going on you want to plug before we wrap up for the night? I can start with we'll start with Jen, as is the local custom. So
right.
go ahead,
Yes.
Jen.
Hi. I'm Jen. I'm the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast. Episodes come out every Saturday, mostly talking about whatever's still to wrap up with Microsoft and whatever other companies or countries that they're working on, and also a lot of Diablo 4 stuff going on. You can find it at shatteredsoulstone.com.
Okay. And Haley, you got any games going on?
Nothing going on right now. We're just all in the planning phase with the content that we're going to be bringing.
Okay.
But yeah, I was happy to be here. And
Awesome.
if you'd like, you can follow my Instagram, babe_blade666, and I do different cosplays and World of Darkness themed photo shoots and stuff.
Awesome. Okay.
All right.
Well, I want to thank everybody who's been watching and appreciate you hanging on. Yeah, I love this. This is kind of an idea I had a couple of months ago, and I was so thrilled when I had a couple players who were like, "Oh, that sounds cool." They wanted to give it a shot.
Yeah.
So,
and our characters are so different from each other. You know?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We're both affected by the plague, though.
Right. Yes.
So, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up next Thursday with part 2. So
right.
Again, thank you to my players. Thanks everybody watching, and we will see you next week. Okay. Good night.
Bye.